game. Clocking, shut up, repeat. Same gray walls, same dead fluorescent lights. Supervisor screaming about productivity, like any of us got paid enough to care. I watched grown men destroy their backs for companies that forgot their names instantly. 20 years in the same factory, and all they got was a cheap retirement mug and chronic pain. Meanwhile, the CEO posts motivation quotes online from a yacht somewhere we'll never see. Funny how the system calls you family right before replacing you. We are the blood inside the machine, the noise beneath the money, the hands that keep the whole world moving, while they treat us like we're nothing. Clocking, break down, go home too tired to speak, then wake up and do it again. 'Cause survival doesn't wait for dreams. I knew a guy named Victor on line 3, worked there since he was 17, handshaking from years of repetition, still showed up every single day. 'Cause it's not a needed braces, that's the part nobody romanticizes. Not hard work, not hustle culture, just fear disguised as discipline. And every lunch break sounded identical, people talking about gas prices, medical bills, who got fired this week, nobody discussing dreams anymore. Like adulthood slowly beat imagination to death. We weren't lazy, just exhausted in ways sleep couldn't fix. I'm tired of watching people give their whole lives away just to barely survive, while some suit in a glass office calls it opportunity. This isn't living, it's slow destruction with a paycheck. We are the blood inside the machine, the ones they never see, the people holding everything together while falling apart quietly. But one day these factory walls won't be able to hold our rage, 'cause you can only treat human beings like parts for so long. The machine never cared who built it, only whether you showed up tomorrow. .17 a.m. hearing everything they said. I still remember that apartment ceiling, water stains shaped like continents, fans spinning slow like it knew nobody was getting sleep in there. Mom crying in the kitchen quietly, thinking I couldn't hear it through the wall. Meanwhile I was 16, punching holes into notebooks instead of people, trying not to become my father, trying not to disappear. Funny how silence can scream louder than a room full of drunk voices. Now there's static in my veins, every memory cuts like chains. I can't drive past those streets without feeling my heart shake. Every friend that said I got you vanished when the lights went black, so I learned how to survive without ever looking back. I worked night shifts at 19, smelling like gasoline and cigarettes, watching rich kids laugh at bars while I counted coins for instant noodles. Everybody talks about dreams until rent is due on Friday. Then survival becomes religion and sleep becomes a luxury. I dated a girl who loved potential but disappeared when life got real. Guess ambition sounds romantic until it bleeds through the windshield. I don't hate those years anymore, but I still carry them everywhere. Every missed call, every you'll never make it. Every night I sat alone with my hands shaking, trying to believe that there was something waiting for me past the pain. Inherit money. Some inherit survival instincts. The ice machine outside room 214 never stopped humming. Neither did my head. temporary started feeling permanent. When your clothes stay folded in trash bags, the wallpaper smelled like smoke and bleach, and the TV only showed static after 2 a.m. I'd stare at the parking lot every night, watching strangers leave, wondering why we never could. The guy next door fought with his girlfriend like clockwork every Friday. You could hear bottles hit the wall, then silence, then crying, then silence again. Funny how broken places teach you how to listen. I learned to sleep with sirens, the deed whenever we cut. And there will be fine tomorrow usually didn't sound too good. Now every time I see those neon lights, my chest still turns to stone, 'cause nothing makes you grow up faster than feeling homeless. Where's the home? I used to lie at school, say the motel had a pool and arcade like it was some vacation story, not survival dressed as comfort. Teachers asked why I looked exhausted. I said video games. Truth was I worked evenings washing dishes just to help keep the room another week. Mom tried to hide the bills from me, but kids always know more than parents think, especially when dinner becomes crackers and the power gets shut off in the car. During winter, I don't miss that place, but part of me never really left it. I remember counting quarters at the vending machine, hoping dinner wouldn't get stuck behind the glass. I remember swearing to myself that if I ever escaped, I'd never let life put me back there again. Now I keep my head moving like the world might disappear, 'cause when you grew up losing everything, you never really feel secure. But every scar that life left on me turned into something real, and the kid inside room 215 finally learned how to heal. Some memories don't fade, they just get quieter. When we were kids, nobody said, I wanna answer emails, until I lose my mind. At 8 years old, my friend wanted to be an astronaut. Now he manages inventory at a warehouse outside the city. Says things like, it could be worse, with the eyes of someone trying to convince himself. Another friend used to make short films on his mom's camera. Now he edits corporate training videos about workplace safety compliance. 40 hours a week, sometimes 50. Creativity creativity didn't die dramatically, it just got exhausted. That's how most dreams disappear, not failure, fatigue. Nobody warned us how expensive survival would become. 'Cause nobody dreams of being tired. Nobody grows up hoping to feel numb. We wanted meaning, we wanted passion, not just enough money to survive the month. But somewhere between the bills and the pressure, we started calling exhaustion normal. And that might be the saddest part of all. You ever notice how adults stop introducing themselves with personality? It's always job titles now, like employment replaced identity. Nice to meet you, I'm a project manager. Cool, but who are you when nobody's paying you? People aren't lazy anymore, they're spiritually drained, running on caffeine, anxiety, and obligation, pretending burnout is ambition because resting feels financially irresponsible. Meanwhile, billionaires post quotes about hustle to people skipping meals to afford rent. Maybe the problem isn't that people changed. Maybe the system rewards emptiness. I'm tired of watching human beings turn into survival machines. Tired of watching talent die inside office buildings. Tired of a world where people apologize for rest, like existing has to be hard. 'Cause nobody dreams of being tired. We just end up there slowly, one missed sleep, one extra shift, one bad year at a time, until we wake up 30 years old, staring at a ceiling fan, wondering what happened to the person we were supposed to become. The saddest prisons are the ones people call normal life. Nobody experiences moments anymore. They document them. His motorcycle downtown before people even called an ambulance. 3 phones were already recording. One girl whispered, "This is gonna blow up online." Like pain became entertainment, like tragedy became content. Kids don't grow up dreaming anymore. They grow up wanting followers, learning camera angles before confidence, smiling for pictures, then crying alone in bathrooms afterward. 'Cause the internet taught everybody how to be seen, but not how to feel seen. We became performers inside our own lives. They filmed everything, the fights, the 2 hours editing every photo. Said she hated her nose, her smile, her voice. By 22 she looked nothing like herself online, and somehow still felt ugly. That's the scam nobody talks about. The algorithm always moves the finish line. Meanwhile people fake happiness professionally. Couples posting forever captions while cheating on each other privately. Friends taking group photos together, then sitting in silence, staring at separate screens. We're more connected than ever, and more emotionally abandoned than ever too. Maybe loneliness feels heavier now, because we watch everyone pretend they aren't lonely. Sell their souls for attention, turn their lives into brands, their pain into market. Everybody wants to go viral, nobody wants to be understood. They filmed everything but missed what actually mattered. The conversation, the silence, the people falling apart quietly. Now the whole world feels safe. We're already lived in some digital circus that never really ends. Memory storage full. You have 3 saved messages. I don't even know why. I still keep them. One's from my grandmother, 2 weeks before the hospital. She's asking if I'm eating enough, telling me not to work so hard. You can hear the TV in the background and her little nervous laugh, like she already knew something nobody else wanted to say out loud. Second one's my ex at 2 a.m. crying outside some party downtown, saying she misses who I used to be. Before life turned me difficult, before survival made me colder, before every conversation sounded tired. Funny how memories sound heavier through speakers. I still play voicemails I never deleted, like they can't bring those nights back to life. Every word feels like a time capsule from versions of us that didn't survive. Now the people in those recordings feel like ghosts I used to know, and every time I hear their voices I feel something breaking slow. Dad, short and awkward like always. Hey kid, call me when you can. That was 4 years ago now. We never really learned each other, just shared the same last name and temper. easier than honesty. I almost deleted them last winter while cleaning old files off my phone, but my hand froze over the screen. 'Cause losing those messages felt too much like losing proof that any of it actually happened. Some people leave your life slowly. Others stay forever in small recordings. Poses, the breathing, the things they didn't say, and somehow that hurts more than the words themselves. 'Cause time doesn't erase people, it just changes the way they haunt you. Saved. Follow your dreams. Be yourself. Work hard and everything comes. Yeah, sure. Making logos bigger for companies that would replace him before lunch tomorrow. Another friend wanted music, had notebooks full of lyrics under his bed. Now he sells insurance over the phone. Reading scripts he hates in a tie he can't afford. To people who hang up mid-sentence, that's adulthood nobody warns you about. Watching people slowly abandon themselves to pay rent on time. Nobody kills your dreams overnight, they just make survival more expensive. We grew up chasing plastic trophies, cheap validation, empty goals. Everybody saying you made it while you feel dirt inside your soul. Big house, nice car, smile perfect for the screen. But what's the point of winning life if you don't recognize yourself anymore? Social media turned everybody into actors, pretending exhaustion is success. People taking photos during breakdowns, caption grind never stops like burnout. Became a personality trait. Oh, watch a man scream at his son over a scratched BMW door, like the car mattered more than the kid, and maybe that's the disease now. People measuring human worth with brands and followers and watches instead of peace. Nobody even asks if you're happy anymore, only what do you do? Somewhere as a stranger. We grew up chasing plastic trophies that never filled the hole. Everything all felt temporary, every victory bought and sold. Now I'm trying to remember who I was before the noise, before the world convinced us that our value had a price. The saddest thing in the world is becoming someone you used to pity. There was a time that group chat never stopped moving. Now it feels like a graveyard with Wi-Fi. Talked every night, sending dumb memes at 3 in the morning, making plans we swore we'd actually do. Road trips, concerts, matching tattoos, the kind of friendships that feel permanent. When you're too young to understand time yet. Now half the messages are birthdays, the other half are sorry bro, been busy. One guy disappeared after getting married, another after depression, another after becoming obsessed with money. Funny how adulthood doesn't always destroy friendships dramatically. Sometimes it just slowly starves them. Nobody notices the last real conversation while it's happening. The group chat went silent, one life problem at a time. Now everybody's too tired to reply with more than I'm fine. We used to talk about forever, now we barely talk at all. And that's the thing about growing up, you don't hear the moment they fall. I saw one of them at the grocery store last winter. We hugged like strangers trying to imitate history. Spent 5 minutes talking about work and weather while avoiding every real thing underneath. No mention of the panic attacks, the divorce, the drinking, the fact we both looked exhausted in new ways. Then we said we should hang out soon, knowing damn well we probably wouldn't. And maybe that's what hurts most. Not betrayal, not anger, just distance. Some people don't leave your life. Suddenly they fade out in buffering I miss who we were. inside a broken system where pain was just tradition. Every step I took in silence was a war against submission. They tried to label my existence like I was meant for resistance, but I was forged in the dark where hope loses its heart. No shelter, no forgiveness, just the weight of endless distance. So I turned my suffering into something that could stay. They built me to fall, I learned to stand taller. This is my iron requiem, sung in blood and steel. Every tear I never showed became the way I feel. Now I walk through endless chaos with a heart that never breaks. I was raised by everything the world was too afraid to face. From the shadows, from the pain, I turned loss into rain. I've seen hope turn into ashes in the eyes of broken masses. Every dream they tried to sell me felt like chains that couldn't help me. So I burned it all to nothing, stopped pretending I was trusting. Now I move without a purpose, but I strike like I am certain. Every insult made me sharper, every failure made me darker. Now the silence of my rage feels like thunder in a cage. I don't ask for understanding, I don't wait for second chances. I just walk into the fire like I own the circumstances. If I had to lose it all, I still choose to never crawl. Others become its echo. Last bus of the night. 3 people awake in the whole city. And somehow I felt lonelier than all of them. In the backseat, headphones on with no music playing, just so nobody would talk to me. Street lights flashing through the window like broken frames from a life I didn't recognize anymore. Factory workers asleep against the glass, drunk strangers laughing house never survives real life. She wanted sunsets and apartments downtown. I was calculating overdraft fees at midnight. Funny how people say follow your passion, like passion pays electric bills. Nobody claps for ambition when your fridge is empty. I watch my friends become strangers slowly, one promotion at a time. Everybody too busy surviving to admit they were miserable too. I kept waiting for life to start, not realizing this was life already. I was tired of pretending, tired of saying I'm good, tired of watching every year pass without feeling understood. So I stopped asking the world for some kind of sign, and decided if nobody saved me, I'd save myself this time. Now I still take late night rides, but they don't feel the same, 'cause the person staring out that window doesn't carry all that shame. I learned some people break forever, and some learn how to bend. And the kid who felt so lost back then finally found himself again. The city never noticed me, but I survived it anyway. Open 24 hours, which really means open for people with nowhere else to go. I used to stop there after work, still smelling like grease and cigarettes. Same cracked leather booth, same waitress calling everybody honey, like she could soften bad lives with vocabulary. There was always an old man drinking black coffee, reading newspapers nobody buys anymore, and truckers staring at the TV without actually watching it. I'd order the cheapest thing on the menu, just to sit somewhere warm for an hour. 'Cause going home and silence was loud back then. Funny how lonely people always find each other in places like that. At the night shift diner, everybody looks half broken, like life had taken its pieces and left them there unnoticed. Midnight coffee, empty eyes, neon lights that never sleep, and somehow that little place made the world feel less heavy. There was a cook in the back covered in burns on both arms. Used to sing old rock songs while cleaning grills, like music could keep him alive longer. One night he told me, "Kid, nobody really knows what they're doing." Then laughed like it physically hurt. I think about that a lot now. A girl around my age worked weekends there, saving tips inside a pickle jar, dreaming about California, like distance alone could fix a person. Last time I saw her, she looked tired in a way sleep can't repair. Some places don't heal you, they just hold you together for a while. I remember staring out the window at 3 in the morning, watching rain hit empty streets, thinking, is this really all life is? Work, bills, regret, and pretending we're okay until we aren't. But that night shift diner taught me something important. Every person there was surviving in their own exhausted way. And maybe strength isn't loud, maybe it's just showing up again, even when the world inside your head is caving in. Is caving in. Is caving in. Some people find religion in churches, some find it under fluorescent lights at 2 a.m. Nobody goes to a laundromat at 2 a.m. unless they're avoiding something. Construction boots, head tilted back like exhaustion, finally won the argument. A woman in a hospital uniform counted quarters 3 times before starting the dryer, like maybe the numbers would change. And there I was, half awake with coffee-stained sleeves, watching my clothes spin in circles, thinking about how my whole life kind of looked the same. Everybody in that room looked like they were carrying invisible fires. At 2:13 a.m. at the laundromat, the world feels honest for a second. No filters, no small talk, no one pretending they're healed yet. Just tired people and flickering lights, trying to hold their lives together while the machines keep spinning, like time doesn't care who's under pressure. Who's under pressure? I remember checking my bank app, $3.41 left. Payday still 4 days away. Phone battery at 6%. Some kid outside was skateboarding alone, listening to music too loud, probably trying to outrun something too. That's the weird thing about cities. Everybody's escaping, just in different directions. The woman in scrubs smiled at me once, like she recognized the same exhaustion. No words, just that silent understanding people get when life There are places sadness feels quieter, like it finally found somewhere to sit down. Things will change while standing in the same places with the same fears every single night. But something about that laundromat made me realize I wasn't alone. Every person that was fighting some kind of war nobody knows. And maybe healing doesn't happen fast. Maybe it's quiet. Maybe it's quiet. Maybe it's slow. Maybe it looks like surviving one more night before you go. Before you go. The dryer stops spinning, but my head never did. We're excited to welcome you to the team. Crazy how one sentence can ruin a person slowly. Somehow you still feel empty. You got the title, the money, the office with the city lights, but every morning feels heavier and every year moves too fast. 'Cause the chest looks different when you're living inside it. Your boss says we're a family here right before asking you to cancel vacation days. Again, co-workers speaking corporate riddles. Circle back, optimize deliverables. Nobody says what they actually mean anymore. You started missing birthdays, stopped answering friends, started measuring your worth by unread emails and performance reviews. And the weirdest part, from the outside, everybody thinks you made it. Sometimes people congratulate you for surviving something that's killing you quietly. Your dream job emailed you back, but it never asked who you were, only what you could produce, how much you could endure. Now you sit in traffic every morning with the knot inside your chest, realizing too late that achievement isn't the same as pace. You are now offline. You bought the house, the car, the watch. But your kid flinches when you walk into the room. You missed his birthday for a meeting in Chicago. Promised you'd make it up next weekend, but next weekend became next month and another business trip. Now he's 13 and talks to strangers online more than his own father. You keep saying I'm doing all this for my family, but your family eats dinner without you 4 nights a week. Your wife stopped arguing months ago, not because things improve, but because she got tired of competing with your phone screen. Money can buy comfort, but it can't fake presents. Your son doesn't know you. He knows the sound of your car, the password to your Netflix, the way you slam the front door hard. He knows you're always working, always busy right now, but he doesn't know your heart, and that's the part that hurts somehow. One day he'll stop asking you to play catch, stop waiting by the window at night, stop trying to impress you with drawings and grades, 'cause children eventually learn where they rank in your priorities. And maybe you'll notice too late at graduation photos, at quiet Christmas dinners, at the moment he starts calling less. Then you'll sit in some expensive kitchen, wondering why success feels so empty. Nobody tells men this enough, providing financially is not the same as being there emotionally. Children, remember attention more than gifts.